Kia ora team, how are we doing today? Hopefully my audio levels are all good. We're all coping with everything and everything is going okay. Let me know in the chat how you're doing. Lovely to see so many of you here today. Hopefully this one's going to be lovely, short, sweet, and we can let you go and do the things that you need to get done this week. Excellent answers in the chat. Very well done to those of you who've given your answers in. You're absolutely right. Those key differences, if we're talking about the presence or absence of organelles, are things like the presence of a cell wall in a plant cell, the presence of chloroplast, the presence of a large vacuole, the ability to produce their own energy through those chloroplasts using photosynthesis. Excellent, excellent, excellent. The fact that you all know that is great. Our plan for today, hopefully we're going to be reasonably succinct in the way that we work through the content for today. All I need to get through is a bit of a korero about what our plans are for this week and for beyond that point, and going through the slides for this week. And you'll see that there isn't a great deal of content to go through. There's a lot of opportunities for revision. So hopefully that's going to make that easy for you guys who are up to speed. And for those of you who need that time to catch up, this is your opportunity to do so. So without further ado, let's dive in to the first slide. We'll wait for my little baby computer who's having a real struggle. There we go. Okay. I'm just going to check that you can all see this clearly. Hopefully everything should be working out okay. Looks like other than a little bit of an issue with the way that the chroma key is working. Everything is looking all good. All right. Same as before, Ms. Staples has set you some slides, and you hand in that task in the slides, same as you've been doing. There's also a little bit of extra stuff on Education Perfect for you. Apologies about the buffering and things. Hopefully that will go away. I've changed a couple of different settings, so hopefully it's ticking over okay. If you need to, you're welcome to refer back to this video later. It should, when it all comes out of the wash, be playing nice and smoothly as we're going through this. It's probably to do with the fact that the computer is still struggling to be able to handle these. All right. Other important thing is that we're going back to school next week. You would have seen yesterday, after the announcement of the transition to level 2, that schools go back on Monday. Miss Offner will email you with the details that you need to know. The important thing is that the assignments that we've asked you to do this week, please get them done. And we're giving you a bit of an opportunity to catch up, and we'll give you more of an opportunity to catch up when we get back to school. So don't expect a super stringent workload. Our goal will be transitioning you back into school life, making sure that you're all ready to learn again, giving you an opportunity to have a corridor with your friends or in classes, and we'll also be continuing to practice our good hygiene. That includes washing our hands and things like that. To remain up to speed, the advice is to check your emails. So hopefully, as long as you're checking your emails, you'll see this information coming through. Hopefully, over time, this is going to smooth out a little bit. It might be because that there's a number of us in this household all trying to use the internet at the same time. So I'm sorry if that's the case, team. I'll try and make sure that all this information is up for you afterwards, in case there's anything that you miss. What I'm going to do now is quickly breeze through the content for this week, and I'll let you get on your merry way. What you would have seen is that Ms. Staples, as normal, has posted the slides, and these slides are taken directly from hers. The first activity for you to complete is a little bit of a Venn diagram on the differences between plant and animal cells. And after the corridor that we just had, you should find this pretty straightforward. You can add in those details there. Hopefully that should be pretty straightforward for you. The next task is related to watching a video and then using the information that's in this video to fill out a slide's worth of different parts of cells and different locations within the leaf structure. You've got things like the waxy cuticle, you've got some chloroplasts that you're going to have to label, you've got different kinds of cells that you have to label, and each of which has names, and some other parts of cells, which I'm not going to give away too much here, but you can see that number 2 is clearly pointing to those black dots, which are called nucleus, the nucleus of the cell, or nuclei, if you're talking about more than one. And the number 3 is pointing to the little green dots, which are representing chloroplasts. If we had ourselves a little flat leaf and we cut straight through it and zoomed right in, what we would be looking at there is the image that you're kind of seeing on screen here. Hopefully that's making sense to you. You can confirm that your answers are correct by checking the next slide after this, which contains an image with each of those cell types labeled and a lot of the details there, but equally you can go online and do some more research if you're wondering about anything in particular. Hopefully this should give you enough information. In regards to this first task, Ms. Staples has set you a couple of smart lessons. Shouldn't take you more than about 20 minutes to get these done, and that's related to specialized plant cells, so specifically it's those photosynthesizing cells and guard cells, as well as details about photosynthesis itself. After that, we move on to the second of our big set of 3 lessons, which is some content relating to leaf structure. And there's some notes there for you to put down the functions about each of these things. It's important for you to be able to label them on a diagram, but it's much more important that you understand what the function of each of these parts is. Why do plants have them? as parts of the leaves. And it shouldn't take you too long to fill these out. If you've gone through that content on Education Perfect, you could also supplement this with some of the notes that you may have in your SciPad. And if you've already done a whole bunch of this work, then fantastic. That means that you're ahead of the game. All right, let's have a look at the next set of slides. There is an opportunity here. It's an extension. You don't have to do it, but if you would like to do it, I'd love to see it. It's an opportunity for you to create a word equation for photosynthesis. This is when we start looking at those higher grades in science. So if you're interested in getting that sort of 5M level, you can start looking at these equations. So you can see that two reactants when added together, or some reactants when added together, in the presence of sunlight, form some products. And this diagram here might help you to be able to do that. I'll let you do that in your own time. In regards to the lesson after this, you will have noticed that this lesson isn't specifically asking you to do any particular content, other than going over the content that we've done before. You'll see that Ms. Staples has given you some information about looking over the assignments from the past 4 weeks and having a look at those assignments. Did you complete them? Did you not? Have you turned in all of that work? Have you gone to Education Perfect and confirmed that you've completed the work for weeks 3, 4, and 5? If you haven't, this is your opportunity now to go and do that work. Make sure that you're up to speed. If for whatever reason this is an issue and it's going to be a challenge, you're welcome to let me know, either by posting in the chat or comments, or by sending me an email, or by chatting to me in the Google Meet that we will have on Friday. Speaking of which, on Friday I will be going into school to get things set up. We have a number of department meetings that day. I should still be able to make our Google Meet at the normal time that I've specified for you, which I believe was 9:40 a.m. It sits right between 2 meetings, but if I happen to get caught in either of those, I will post on our Google Classroom page, but I look forward to seeing all of you there. The last task, once you've done those little bits at the top and those details around catching up on any work that you've missed, is answering a couple of long answer questions. Like always, you're welcome to use more slides than this if it's easy for you, but you absolutely don't have to. This is just an opportunity for you to show your understanding. And you know what? That's it. That's all we're asking of you this week, is to go through those things. That brings us basically to the end of the lesson for today. I told you it'd be a short and a sweet one. I'm sorry about the technical issues relating to this. What I'm going to ask of you is that if you've got any questions relating to the content today, you can post them in the chat and I can do my best to answer them. If you've already gone through all that work, maybe it's an opportunity to have a bit of time off. Go for a walk, go for a run. Make sure that you're prepared for your other subjects for when we go back to school. Make sure that if you want to do a bit of extension, that you're doing that. I know that there's a lot of you working on personal projects at the moment. I saw some of you are entering game jams. I saw that some of you are working on charitable organizations. And I think all of this sort of extra stuff that you guys are doing, especially if it's related to science, that's absolutely fantastic. And if you want to continue doing that kind of stuff, then now is the perfect time to be doing it. That said, if you have any questions related to the content for this week, I'm happy to have a bit of a kōrero now. But otherwise, this is going to be a pretty short video. And I guess we can leave it there. Is there anything you guys want to talk about? It looks like most of you are saying that you're pretty good and that you're already up to speed with the work, in which case that's fantastic. And I think you should all be really proud of that. I can't seem to see any questions. So if that's all for today, you can have a lovely rest of your day. Go off and do your own thing. Make sure the work gets done. And I cannot tell you how excited I am to see you next week. The best part about being a teacher is being able to interact one-on-one with you. So I'm really looking forward to seeing you in face to face. For the Google Meet on Friday, we'll do a bit of a Kahoot. It's much easier to do that over Google Meet than it is to do it through the live stream because of the delay. So I will make sure we do that, Amir. Don't worry too much. All right, lovely chatting with all of you. Do you have any questions? I'll stick around for a minute to answer those. But otherwise, have a lovely rest of your day. Look after yourselves, and I'll catch you all later.